Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome back to the Critic Sensei YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about the Acolyte, but specifically Star Wars as a whole. So far the Acolyte has been a huge flop. The 8th and final episode will be released in a couple days, and episode 7 was absolutely atrocious. It was basically a rerun of episode 3 from a different perspective, and at this point there is still huge plot holes, the acting is poor, the storytelling is absolutely horrendous, and at this point Disney Star Wars is breaking lore, making a lot more diehard fans get further away from the franchise. Today we're going to dive into a question a lot of Star Wars fans have in mind. I'm going to pose this question to all of you. Is there any chance that Star Wars could be redeemed, or if there's any way to save it? I don't know about all of you, but when a new Star Wars project is announced, I have a tiny bit of hope beforehand. When the Acolyte was first announced, way back before it was even talked about, before any trailers or teasers were released, I was excited. They said they were going to talk about more of the dark side and get more into that, but instead we got the Acolyte and we got this horrible, like I said, horrible storytelling, poor acting, and these plot holes are horrible. And on top of that, we have Leslie Headland, Amanda Steinberg, blaming the fans for their absolute horrible ratings, and right now they're at a 14% audience Rotten Tomatoes. And you don't get a 14% Rotten Tomatoes by having a good show. There is tens of thousands of reviews on Rotten Tomatoes right now, and a 14% is absolutely horrible, and I believe as of right now, Season 2 has been canceled. Thank God. I know that Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland are pushing to get that season back. With a 14%, they should absolutely not have a Season 2, but with Disney Star Wars nowadays, you never know what's going to happen. First, I want to address a couple things that have been bothering me. We've seen a lot of changes in the Star Wars universe since Disney took over, and all of it has not been for the better. Character mismanagement, the horrible storytelling, and completely changing the lore. We're at the point where a lot of Disney fans are pushing back against Star Wars, and for me, I created this channel to speak my mind, because I'm at the point, especially after episode 7, I'm at the point where I don't even want to watch anything new coming out. I'm not looking forward to any new Star Wars project, and I've been a fan my whole life. I've been a huge fan of episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. My dad had the box set when I was growing up, and I watched episode 4, 5, and 6 over and over again until 1999 when The Phantom Menace came out. And honestly, episode 1, 2, and 3, I absolutely love those movies and cherish those movies. And with the sequel trilogy that came out, but we won't talk about that in this video. Let's talk about legacy characters. Disney seems to love sidelining main characters from Star Wars. So basically, Star Wars is destroying these legacy characters to make room for their new characters, but I think they're going about this all wrong. Disney Star Wars shouldn't mess with the current story. They should keep the current story because Star Wars has been there for almost 40 years at this point, and with them changing some source material, they're pushing fans away, but not just that, they're trying to put their new characters in. It makes it so we have no connection to them, because also with their poor storytelling, poor acting, and so on. But what Disney Star Wars should be doing is taking the current storyline and adding to it, adding more to it, not changing what's already there. Now let's talk about merchandising really quick. Throughout the years, Star Wars always had great toys and so on, but I feel like they're focusing more on selling those toys by making these specific cute characters like Grogu and other characters like small droids that they're trying to make profit on. But instead of just having these good characters with good character development, then selling the toys later, they're thinking about, hey, with this character, this little cute little Yoda, this will be a cute character we can sell and make a lot of money on. Instead of developing the character development and having good storytelling, they're focusing more on profit, and that's not just with merchandising, that's with everything all around. Basically, they're not focusing on good storytelling, they're focusing on stocking the shelves to put money in their pockets. Another big issue that's been happening is the creators like Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland, they are putting their own personal stuff, their personal issues into the story, which is making the storytelling suffer. And you can tell they're pushing their own agenda right now, pushing their own personal stuff into the story. And honestly, if they did push their own stuff into the story, but it was great storytelling, I wouldn't care. But I really think them pushing their own personal things into the story is really making it suffer. So take Leslie Headland. She specifically said she'd take her personal experience and putting it into Star Wars. And not just that, she had inspirations from Frozen that inspired her work on The Acolyte. While personal stories could add depth, they shouldn't overshadow the essence of what Star Wars is. It's also frustrating to see criticism dismissed by bigotry. And when fans voice their concerns or displeasure, it is written off as intolerance. This shuts down meaningful dialogue and ignores genuine issues fans have with the direction of Star Wars and the whole franchise. So let's get back to the question, can Star Wars be changed? And honestly, I think yes. But it does require some serious change at Disney, at Lucasfilm, and like I've been stating all along, and a lot of others too, they have to get back to good storytelling. Without good storytelling, the show will suffer, and honestly, with everything that's going on, everything together compounds. So they have poor storytelling, poor acting, huge plot holes, and honestly, at this point, they're trying to double back to damage control on their story. You see these interviews with Leslie Headland trying to explain what's going on in the story because things don't make sense. But honestly, her doing that is not really changing what's happening. Don't get a 14% audience score for no reason. They need to respect the legacy characters while creating their new ones. They also need to create compelling narratives for both new and old Star Wars fans. So let's get back to the question, can Star Wars be saved? And honestly, I think it can, but huge changes need to happen. And like I've been saying, and a lot of other people have been saying too, they have to get back to good storytelling. And without good storytelling, they have nothing. And there's recent interviews with Leslie Headland trying to explain the story of what's going on, but her doing damage control like that isn't helping. And you don't get a 14% audience Rotten Tomatoes score for no reason. They need to respect the legacy characters while creating their new ones. And they need to make compelling storylines for the old and new fans. And I know this has been going around a lot lately, but I think it is something that needs to be done. I feel like Disney, Lucasfilm, they need to start cleaning house because the projects that have been coming out in the last couple of years have been horrible. The Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, now the Acolyte. Honestly, the only good ones they've had was season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian, season 3 was shit as well. They need to get back to good storytelling, and at this point, the people in charge, Kathleen Kennedy, Leslie Headland for the Acolyte, they can't be in charge of storytelling right now. Putting their own personal stuff into the stories. Unacceptable if there's bad storytelling. By having Amanda Steinberg, blaming the audience, blaming the fans for the bad ratings. It's unacceptable. She should be taking this criticism to better herself, better her acting. They need to bring in writers that love and understand Star Wars, know the lore, maybe read the books, but right now you can tell that the creators like Leslie Headland, Kathleen Kennedy, they know the surface level stuff about Star Wars, and you can tell from these interviews that have been coming out as of late. A lot of the interviews that Leslie Headland has, you can tell she doesn't know much about Star Wars. Very basic stuff, but if you're the creator, you're the one that's building on this huge legacy that Star Wars have, you should know honestly everything about it. I'm a huge fan, and I feel like I can create better storytelling than she can, and I'm not a writer. At this point, like I said, clearing house is most likely the way they should go. I don't wish bad upon anyone, but they should not be in this position to build on this huge legacy of Star Wars. Even Bob Iger recently stated that they've been focusing on quantity more than quality, but then the Acolyte comes out and it was complete shit. And at this point, what do they have to do? They have to clear house, get new writers to make better storytelling. In the end, I don't think Disney will ever sell Star Wars, but like I keep saying, they need to switch who's in charge, who's doing the writing, and who's doing the storytelling. If they start respecting the franchise and the fans, there may be some hope yet. But if they continue down the path they're on right now, honestly, it's not going to go anywhere good, and they already lost a huge amount of their fan base, and if they keep going on their path, they're going to lose everything. And Star Wars will keep losing its magic. Thank you all for watching this video today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it's my third video on this channel, and if you guys like this content, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Episode 8 of The Acolyte is coming out really soon. I'll do a overview of that episode when it comes out. And like I said, at this point, this show, it's a flop. And like I said, I am a huge fan of Star Wars. I don't wish ill upon it, but when things are going this bad, the only thing we could do is use our voice to tell them what is going on. Because right now, this is unacceptable, and they really do need to make big changes. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.